This was written on October the 14th, 2021, my grandparents. As a young child of 4 years old, I had 4 grandparents who had immigrated from Russia in the early 1900s with their young families to England to escape the pogroms against the Jews. My mother's family settled in East London and owned a bakery near the Tower of London. My father's family also settled in Shoreditch, East London, and owned a sawmill which made furniture, and my grandfather had a Christian partner. My mother's father died when I was 5 years old, and I have little memory of him, except I thought that he looked like the man whose picture was on a cigarette pack. I cannot remember any conversation with him because children were seen, not heard at that time. I remember later my mother's mother, Esther, rented rooms at the seaside in the summer, and I, my sister and brother, joined her for 1 week with my mother only. My father took us on the train, but never stayed because he worked the whole week. I never remember any conversation with my grandmother. We children went to the beach on our own, exploring and watching the Punch and Judy shows. Also, before the war in 1939, my mother fried fish for my father's parents every Thursday. My brother and I delivered it on our way back to school after lunch. To my grandmother, Rivella, who would delve into her purse, which was around her neck, and give us each a halfpenny to spend on sweets or ice cream. Again, no conversation. I was evacuated before the war and my 10th birthday, so I was living away from my family for 5 years. By the time I returned home, just my father's father was still alive. When I was a teenager, Grandpa would turn his back on me, put his hand in his pocket and pull out either a coin or sometimes a note and say, "There." And this was pocket money for me. But again, never a conversation. Looking back after all these years, I realised that the children in our family stayed together and were all very friendly, but never integrated with the adults. Thank goodness my children had a different experience with their grandparents, but they were close to them and enjoyed each other's company.